What if managing your money wasn't about earning more, but making smarter decisions with what you already have? Many people assume budgeting means giving up everything they enjoy, but in reality, a good budget does the opposite. It gives you a clear plan for paying your bills, building savings, reducing debt, and still leaving room for the things that matter most to you. Whether you're living paycheck to paycheck or simply looking to improve your financial future, having a budget can reduce stress and help you stay in control of your money instead of wondering where it went every month. In this video, we'll walk through a simple 5-step budgeting process, explain how to prioritize your financial goals, and take a closer look at one of the most popular budgeting methods used today. By the end, you'll have a practical framework you can start using right away. A budget is simply a spending plan. It tells every dollar where it should go before you spend it. The purpose isn't to restrict your life, it's to make sure your money supports your priorities. Regardless of your income level or how often you get paid, budgeting can help you cover essential expenses, prepare for unexpected costs, save for future goals, and make smarter financial decisions over time. The good news is that creating a budget doesn't have to be complicated. It starts with understanding how much money you actually have available to spend. Let's begin with the first step. Know your real income. Before you decide where your money should go, you need to know how much you're actually working with. For most employees, that means looking at your after-tax income, also known as your take-home pay or net income. This is the amount that actually reaches your bank account after taxes and other deductions. However, when creating a budget, it's helpful to account for money that's automatically deducted for items such as retirement contributions through a 401k or certain insurance premiums. Including those amounts gives you a more complete picture of your total earnings and how they're being allocated. If you earn money from freelance work, side gigs, or self-employment, don't forget to subtract taxes and legitimate business expenses first. Budgeting based on money you don't actually keep can quickly throw your financial plan off track. Knowing your true income creates the foundation for every decision that follows. Pick a budgeting system that fits your life. Once you understand your income, the next step is choosing a budgeting system that matches your lifestyle. There's no universal method that works for everyone. The best budget is the one you can realistically follow month after month. Some people prefer the envelope system, where spending is divided into separate categories with fixed limits. Others like a zero-based budget, where every dollar is assigned a specific purpose before the month begins. Another widely used approach is the 50/30/20 budget. Under this guideline, about 50% of your take-home pay goes toward essential needs. Around 30% is available for discretionary spending, and roughly 20% is directed towards savings and debt repayment. Depending on your financial situation, different allocations, such as 60/20/20 or 60/30/10, may also be more practical. The key isn't choosing the perfect formula, it's selecting a system that consistently covers your necessities, allows room for personal spending, and helps you build long-term financial security. Every budget should have 3 core priorities. No matter which budgeting method you choose, every effective budget should balance 3 essential priorities. First are your needs, the expenses you must pay to live and work. Second are your wants, the purchases that improve your lifestyle but aren't essential. And third is your financial future, including savings, emergency funds, retirement contributions, and paying down debt beyond minimum payments. Keeping these 3 categories in balance helps prevent overspending in one area while neglecting another. In the next section, we'll look at one of the most overlooked parts of budgeting, and the habit that often determines whether a budget actually succeeds over the long term. Rack your spending and make adjustments. Creating a budget is only the beginning. The real value comes from tracking how closely your spending matches the plan. You can write down your expenses in a notebook, use a spreadsheet, or choose a budgeting app. The method matters less than consistency. The goal is to understand where your money is actually going each month. As you review your spending, look for patterns. You may notice that dining out, online shopping, or subscription services are costing more than you realized. Small purchases can add up quickly over time. If you identify areas where you're spending more than intended, consider reducing those costs. Any money you free up can be redirected toward priorities like paying down debt faster, building savings, or reaching another financial goal. Remember, a budget isn't meant to be perfect. It's a tool that helps you make informed decisions and adjust when necessary. Make saving automatic. One of the easiest ways to stay on track is to remove the need to make the same decision every payday. Setting up automatic transfers allows money to move into savings, an emergency fund, or retirement account without requiring extra effort each month. If your employer offers direct deposit, you may be able to send part of each paycheck directly into a savings account. This helps you save before you're tempted to spend. For people with irregular income, such as freelancers, contractors, or gig workers, automatic deposits may not always be practical. In that case, setting reminders to transfer money whenever income arrives can help build the same habit. Some people also find it helpful to stay accountable by sharing their goals with a trusted friend or participating in an online budgeting community. Having encouragement and support can make it easier to stick with your financial plan over time. Review your budget as life changes. A budget shouldn't stay exactly the same forever. Your income may increase. Your housing costs could change. You might start a new job, welcome a child, pay off a loan, or face unexpected expenses. Because life changes, your budget should change too. Review your budget every few months and ask a simple question. Is this still working for my current situation? If the budgeting method you chose no longer fits your needs, don't be afraid to switch to another system. Changing your budget isn't a sign that you've failed. In fact, adjusting your plan to match reality is often the smartest financial decision you can make. A successful budget is one that evolves along with your life. Know what to prioritize. First, once you've built the habit of budgeting, the next challenge is deciding where extra money should go. Financial experts generally recommend starting with an emergency fund. Even setting aside a modest amount can help cover unexpected expenses like small repairs or emergency bills without relying on credit cards. If your employer offers a 401k match, contributing enough to receive the full match is often considered a valuable next step because it's an employer contribution to your retirement savings. After that, many people focus on paying off high-interest debt, especially balances such as high-interest credit cards or certain loans where interest costs can grow quickly over time. As those priorities improve, attention can shift toward increasing retirement savings, expanding an emergency fund to cover several months of essential living expenses, paying down remaining lower interest debt, and eventually saving for personal goals that matter most to you. The order may vary depending on individual circumstances, but the overall idea remains the same. Build financial stability first, then create more flexibility for the future. In the final part, we'll bring everything together with one of the most popular budgeting strategies, the 50/30/20 rule, and discuss how to adapt it if your situation looks different, along with the biggest takeaway that can help make budgeting a long-term habit. A simple starting point. One of the most widely recognized budgeting methods is the 50/30/20 budget. It's popular because it's easy to understand and flexible enough for many households. Here's how it works. Up to 50% of your after-tax income goes toward needs. These are the essential expenses you have to pay in order to live and work. They typically include housing, groceries, basic utilities, transportation, insurance, minimum loan and credit card payments, and childcare or other work-related necessities. If your essential expenses regularly exceed 50% of your income, don't assume you're doing something wrong. In some situations, housing costs or other unavoidable expenses simply take up a larger share of the budget. If that happens, you may temporarily need to reduce spending in other areas or consider a different budgeting approach that better reflects your circumstances. The next 30% is for wants. These are the things that make life more enjoyable but aren't essential for everyday living. Examples include dining out, entertainment, vacations, hobbies, gifts, or streaming services. Everyone's definition of a want is a little different, and that's perfectly normal. The important thing is to make intentional choices. Cutting back on discretionary spending can create more room to reach larger financial goals, but your budget should also leave room for enjoyment. A budget that's too restrictive can be difficult to maintain over time. The remaining 20% is dedicated to saving and paying down debt beyond minimum payments. This portion of your income can help build an emergency fund, grow retirement savings, prepare for future goals, or reduce outstanding debt more quickly. Keep in mind that the 50/30/20 rule is a guideline, not a requirement. Some households may find that a 60/20/20 or 60/30/10 breakdown works better because of local living costs or personal financial priorities. The most effective budget isn't necessarily the one with the most popular percentages. It's the one you can realistically follow month after month while consistently covering your needs, supporting your future goals, and helping you make steady financial progress. Let's quickly recap the 5 steps. First, calculate your after-tax income so you know exactly how much money you have available. Second, choose a budgeting system that fits your lifestyle, rather than forcing yourself into a plan that isn't realistic. Third, track your spending regularly so you can identify areas where adjustments may be needed. Fourth, automate your savings whenever possible to make consistent progress with less effort. And finally, review and update your budget as your financial situation changes over time. Budgeting isn't about perfection. It's about making intentional decisions with your money. Even small improvements, whether that's saving a little more, reducing unnecessary spending, or paying extra toward debt, can add up over the long run. The key is consistency. A simple budget that you actually follow is far more valuable than a complicated plan you abandon after a few weeks. If you found this breakdown helpful, consider sharing it with someone who's looking to take better control of their finances. And if you enjoy clear, fact-based videos on personal finance, investing, and the economy, be sure to subscribe to Capital Compass Daily so you don't miss future updates. Thanks for watching. We'll continue bringing you practical financial insights and the latest developments that matter. See you in the next video.